yoga studio. Hope you're all doing okay. When I'm recording this, I think we're on day 54, so it's been a really long time for everyone, and I hope you're all coping. So I pulled a card again today for you, quite an interesting card. I felt it really sort of leapt out of the pack, and the card says on the front conflict and defeat. But it's more interesting that, so this is a mental card, not surprisingly, and it represents significant learning and change. And how you handle yourself at this time is vital to your overall well-being. And so not surprised that this particular card came up. It then goes on to say that you are being tested on how delicately and gently you take your next step. Remember, everything in your life is an opportunity to learn and grow. And I really like the words delicately and gently. You take your next step. So be mindful of that in this practice and kind of keep that in your thoughts as we go through these poses. Because I think that there's this an element of like, oh, we need to like rush to do this or rush to do that, and to feel like we've achieved something in this time, or to keep busy. And sometimes we just want to be a little bit more gentle and take delicate steps forward, and sometimes even pauses, and to remind ourselves that that's okay, and that we are allowed to take those pauses, because it's in those pauses that we start to manifest and create. So give yourself permission to do that. So we're going to go ahead and start in just a moment of Japanese sitting, just to ground ourselves. So coming onto your knees and sitting back onto your heels. If this feels a little bit tight for you, grab a cushion, and you can just pop the cushion here. It just allows a little bit of space in your knees. So for some people, it gives a little bit of relief into the knees. If you don't need your cushion, just pop it to one side. We're going to use it in a moment, or a pillow, or whatever it is you have. So make your spine nice and tall. Pull the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And just place your palms down. We're going to take a moment just to center ourselves here and bring ourselves into the space. Close our eyes and connect to our breath. And as always, taking that moment to connect to how we are feeling in this moment, today. How are we feeling mentally, emotionally, physically? And as always, just acknowledging how we feel without judgment. During this time, every single one of us will have had mental challenges, emotional challenges, and physical challenges. And to say that we haven't is just an act of denial. We will have had challenges on all those levels at some point or another, maybe all at the same time. And that's okay. And it may last a couple of days, it may last a few hours. And just to know that everybody, every single person is having challenges of some sort. So just bringing yourself into your heart space and sinking down into that. Sinking down into the solar plexus, the seat of our intuition. And let that intuition guide you for those delicate and gentle steps forward. Beautiful. Bring your eyes to open. grab your cushion or your pillow and just pop it on your mat here. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. With a slight little adjustment here, we're going to use our cushion as a little bit of support on our belly. It just helps to lift the chest very slightly. So bring yourself down and place the cushion kind of just underneath the ribs there. So it's not too far into the belly, and the bulk of the cushion is just where the two floating ribs are, or just above that. And then bring your elbows onto the mat. Make sure your elbows and shoulders are in alignment, and that your elbows and wrists are in alignment. Bring the toes towards each other, maybe about hip distance apart. Maybe don't want them too wide, so just make sure they're kind of in line with your hips, maybe a little bit closer. And then you want to take the fingers onto the mat and just gently draw the fingers towards your body. And as you do so, this will start to lift the chest. And we're using this cushion or this pillow just as a little bit of extra support here. And creating a gentle curve through the spine. And just opening up through the heart space. So I want you to close your eyes here. Connect to the breath and feel the belly rise and fall in this gentle push against the floor and the cushion as you expand your diaphragm. Keep lifting the heart forward, upwards. Keep peeling the crown of the head towards the ceiling. If it feels like too much, you can gently drop the chin and stay here. It's okay. If it feels good, find that length throughout the spine. Just helps to open up the heart space and the fascia on the front line of the body. Just take a few more breaths here. Beautiful and nice, gentle release. Just take your elbows down and you can just fold it over this cushion and find release to the front line. Beautiful, find yourself back in a tabletop position and just pop your cushion to one side. We're going to be using it a little bit later. Perfect, and then we're going to come into a twisting puppy pose. So options are, if you want to do a 4-minute puppy, you can come into puppy, maybe even use the cushion in front. Otherwise, come into twisting puppy. It's a little bit gentler and gets into slightly different part of the body, but it feels just as good. So we're going to do 2 minutes on the side. So taking one arm, just whichever one you want to start with, and just thread the needle and come down onto that shoulder. Still creates a nice stretch of the front line of the body, feels really good, and creates a nice stretch through the shoulders. So this hand can either stay right next to you here, or it can reach out onto the top of the mat, depending on where is more comfortable for you. Try and make sure that the hips and the knees are in alignment. This one really nice for easing out the lower back as well. Especially if you've been sitting at a desk, you're going to get a nice release into the shoulder. It will start to just work your way back up. Come back through center. Just take a little moment to reset here. Perfect, and then thread the needle on the other side. We're going to work into the other side. So whatever side you did first, you're going to do the opposite one, come down onto that shoulder. And options to keep the hand there or lengthen the hand out towards the top of the mat. Just a couple more breaths on this side. Then work your way back through center. Take a little bit of a reset. And then just to open up the shoulders, just take a moment in a full puppy. So reaching the hands towards the top of your mat and then just bring your chest down. And take your forehead down onto the mat. Beautiful. And then come back up. We're going to just tuck under our toes and just work our way gently into a downward dog. There's a little bit of a pedal out, so just bending into each leg and pressing the heels down. We're not trying to set ourselves up for a big downward dog here, just easing out into the backs of the legs here for a moment. And then we're going to step one leg to the top of the mat. Bring the back knee down onto the mat. You can place a cushion underneath it if it feels a little bit too much to be on your knee here. And options, first option is to just stay right here. So both hands on the mat, just in this lunge. Second option is to place the hand onto the knee and coming to what we call a twisting dragon, so sinking a little bit deeper and just gently pushing this knee away. Third option is to bring the forearm down and come into a bigger twisting dragon, so really coming into a deeper version of this pose. So choose what option suits you. And if this feels like it's really quite a lot at the beginning, then I suggest you just come into the middle version. So just find wherever you can go, whatever feels good to you. So I'm going to stay in the middle version. And just this nice, gentle peeling of the heart up towards the ceiling. So not too much pressure on the knee, it's just an easy push or an easy hold here. This is a big pose, so don't go too deep. Lots of deep breathing when you're in it. Connecting to where it feels tight. A lot of you will be feeling a very tight psoas muscle. When we're under stress, our psoas muscle wants to curl up like a caterpillar. When you touch it and it curls into a little ball. And that's what it does, it's kind of part of our fight or flight, and it wants to curl us into the fetal position to protect us. And so we want to gently uncurl this and just let go of some of that stress. So I say don't go too deep in the beginning, you're here for a while and it can be quite intense. You've got about 30 seconds to go here. Try not to move out of the pose, just try and stay as deep as you have gone. And as it gets harder, just connect deeper to the breath. You start a little bit of a jai breath if you know how to go there. A little bit of box breathing if that feels like it's what you need to do, and then nice gentle release. Just come out of that super gently, just pull back. Don't need to go into a full half animal, just release out that hip of the back leg. Beautiful, step yourself back into a downward dog. Take a moment, take a reset, give a little pedal out. Let's come on to our other side, so let's step the other foot forward again. Bring your cushion, place it under the other knee if you need to. And your three options, one is to keep both your hands down, just stay right here. That is okay. And the option is to take the hand onto the knee, and the third option to come down onto the forearm here. That is deep. If you're feeling a little bit tight, I don't suggest you want to go that far. So, and again, I'm going to stay on my hand here. Press the other knee away, nice and gently, just rolling onto the outside of this foot. And then starting to connect to my breath. I do find this quite intensive. So I do find that I need to start Ujjayi breathing. It's fine at first, and then about a minute in, I really need to start working the breath just a little bit harder. I have definitely noticed a tightening, even though I've been moving pretty much every day, just a tightening of my physical body. My quads are tighter than they've ever been, ever. My hamstrings have definitely tightened up. We are sitting more, so hamstrings, glutes, lower back, they're all going to start to notice it. If you're sitting at a desk and working all day and not moving in the way you used to, then you might find that your shoulders are tighter. A few more breaths here. Beautiful, and a nice gentle release out of that. Just pulling easy back on that other hip and just taking a moment through center. Beautiful, until you just found that it's kind of come into that reset and really just reset itself. You can step yourself back to your downward dog, give a little pedal out. Beautiful, and then bring yourselves back to sit on your mat. So we're going to come into a half butterfly, so grab your cushion or pillow, whatever it is that you need, and we want to start sitting in a Baddha Konasana, so the soles of your feet to touch, and take about 2 hands placed together between your heels and your torso. Then we're going to extend one leg out first. So you're going to take one leg to the side. Don't go too wide, just a nice gentle alignment here. I kind of have my heel in line with my toes, maybe a little bit further back, so more into my instep. And then we're going to take our pillow and place it right in center. You can tuck it right into the belly if that feels good to you. So there's a lot of like sometimes release from pressing into our solar plexus, but you just use it however you want to. And this nice gentle fall forward. So maybe you just want to sit right here in center, a little bit of pressure on the belly, maybe no pressure at all, and your hands just forward, and that is perfectly okay. Maybe you want to fold down a little bit deeper, bringing the torso down towards the sole of the foot or the foot here. Try and keep yourself even on the floor. If you find yourself slightly rolling to one side, just gently bring yourself back into center. And just allow your neck to be soft. So check in on your jaw here. Check in on your facial features as a way of testing where we are at. So are your features soft? Are you sort of tightening your forehead and clenching your jaw? And these are all things we do subconsciously, and we hold on to this stress. Just a few more breaths here on this side. Beautiful, then just gently lift the head, walk the hands back. Take a moment in an upright position. And then let's just swap them over. So bring the extended leg, so take your hand underneath your knee, release the knee. Bring that foot to center, take the other one to the other side again, lining up. I'm lining up roughly in step to heel here. Placing my cushion where I want it, where it's comfortable for me. You may find each hip is slightly different, so just note that. It doesn't matter if you don't go as far down on the other hip, or it feels just like just feels tighter, or maybe this one feels looser. And if it feels good to you and you really want to fold all the way down, then just feel free to do so. And again, if you want to stay a little bit more upright and you're more in this position, that is also okay. When we are filming these classes, there is nothing much we can do about the noises around us. We're obviously filming at home, and we have neighbors, and Ellen has a cat which loves to interfere, and so we have things that are so out of our control. Right now my neighbors are deciding, I think, to make some smoothies in their kitchen, which is just below here. I can hear their blender going, so I apologize if you can hear that. I'm going to take a couple more breaths here. Beautiful, and just start to lift up. Walk the hands back and take the hand under that knee. Extend forward, give both legs a little bit of a shake here. We're going to come into a nice little hamstring stretch. So hamstrings also been super tight. Trying to get into all the areas where I feel like we really need to get. So you're going to keep one leg extended and take the other leg across and wrap it over and kind of line up the knees. Doesn't matter too much if they're not completely equal, but just tuck this foot around so that the top of the foot is facing forwards. Take your hand onto that knee and then just gently reach forward with the other one. So maybe it just wants to come onto the ground in front. Keep the toes soft, so we're not flexing the toes up towards the ceiling. Maybe you want to just reach it onto the ankle. You're going to feel this stretch behind the knee of the extended leg. It's quite a deep stretch, so just go easy here. If you want to fold all the way down, then feel free to do so. My hamstrings have definitely taken some strain, so I'm going pretty easy on this stretch today. It does feel good to get into these areas that I've been feeling really tight. We'll just start to lift up. Take that top leg off, extend it down to the end of your mat. Let's swap them over. So I'm going to take my other leg over the top, try and line up the knees and have the top of the foot facing forwards. My other hand comes onto this just to steady myself, and I'm just going to just gently ease over. So again, maybe your hand, maybe you're sitting upright and that is enough. Maybe you're feeling super tight, maybe the hand goes forward, maybe it goes onto the ankle. Just see where it feels like it needs to go for you. As I say, this is a very deep stretch, so go easy. Find that edge and then just pull back from the edge. So don't like stay at the edge for your 2 minutes. It's too much. Just, we're releasing fascia, remember, so we're not trying to get into, this is a nice muscle stretch. If you have like on for a walk or a run or a cycle or something, you want to do this stretch, then you want to get into the muscle, then you flex the toes. So if we're doing fascia, we have a relaxed muscles. If we want to stretch the muscles, we want to engage. So in here we're just nice and gentle, the toes are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. We're just gently folding forward. If I had just done a run or a walk and I wanted to really get into the back of my hamstring, I would then flex these toes forward and do the same fold and just be there for 30 seconds. Far more active, far more intense. Just a few more breaths on this side. Beautiful, and just start to lift the head. Release that out, take the top leg over, give it a little bit of a shake. Okay, so our final pose for today is quite intense as well. Sorry, I've done a lot of intense poses today. So there's some options here. First option is to grab 1 or maybe 2 pillows, cushions. We're going to take one leg and we're going to tuck it around behind us. So if you need height here, stack yourself onto something. Get your height, bring this leg up if you need to, or leg can be extended depending on how tight this quad is. So you could start here, you maybe be much higher up onto a couple of books, maybe even if you need it, or you can just maybe have 1 cushion. You're going to sit nice and upright. You're going to stay right here, get a stretch into the quad. If you are a little bit looser, you bring yourself down onto the floor. We can start there. We can have this leg bent or straight. And we are just sitting down on the floor. Maybe you can take yourself a little bit back, maybe bring yourself down onto your elbows here. That's an option. Maybe folding all the way down is an option, or onto the floor or onto your cushion or pillow. And just see where you go. So let me just see, I've been feeling a little bit tight. So if this leg is up, it's a little bit looser. If the leg is down, you get a little bit more of an intensive stretch. I need a little bit more of a cushion here for myself. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Jaw is relaxed. Keep the breathing nice and deep and even. Okay, this is quite an intensive pose, so don't go all the way to your edge in this one. Again, you want to just find an edge and come a little bit back from that. If at any point your knee starts to lift off the floor, you have gone too far. So you want to be able to soften in this pose. A few more breaths on this side. So nice and easy as you come out of this. If you're all the way down, come onto your elbows, take a moment. And bring yourself all the way back up. If you are sitting, just bring that leg around. Bring it through center. Maybe just dropping the knees from side to side. When I come onto the other side, so again, choose your option. If you need to be sitting on a cushion, you start there, you're nice and upright. Maybe you can sit on the floor upright, and the leg is tucked around. Okay, maybe this is just where you can be. This is super tight on the quads, so, or super stretch on the quads. So just see how it goes. Maybe you're on your cushion, maybe all you can do is maybe just a little bit of a lean back here. That's okay. Maybe you can come back down, come down onto your forearms here. Maybe that's just enough for this side. It is a little bit tighter for me, so I'll be staying a little bit more upright on this one. And then if it feels good, maybe you're gonna come all the way down. Soften the shoulders, unlock the jaw, soften the features of the face. Halfway through the side. Starts to feel intense. Connect to that breath. Just more oxygen. So you want to take deeper breaths, breathe more into the diaphragm. Just a couple more breaths here on this side. Beautiful. Then start to just lift yourself up. Take a moment through center. Start to walk yourself all the way back up, depending on where you have been. And then just release that back leg. Just come into this windscreen wipers, just so taking the hands back and allowing the hips to drop to one side and then the other side. Beautiful. And then just coming into a moment of Shavasana or into a moment of meditation, whatever feels like you need to do for your practice. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got some release into those really tight spaces, and that reminder to be delicate and gentle on your way forward. Namaste.